Wow, thousands of people gave their life to Jesus at the Charlie Kirk tribute. And even after his death, in the first few days after, across the world, people were coming together to show mourning and support for him. And in this video, I also want to talk about something even bigger, how the death of Charlie Kirk is having people see the truth in Jesus. And so let me go ahead and just kind of recap in case you haven't heard about it, right? On September 10th, Charlie Kirk died. He was assassinated. And so now what's happening is we're seeing a lot of division politically in this country, but then we're also seeing people come together. And so, despite how horrific his death was, there's a lot of good that God is using as an outcome of everything here. And that's where I want to talk about some of the truths that both people are seeing. And I also want you to notice too, in case you didn't catch it with everything going on. Truth number one, the Charlie Kirk death being purely a political issue is a distraction from the devil. Because what's happening is we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but we are fighting a spiritual battle. This is something bigger than political and something bigger than a physical battle, because Ephesians 6:12 is telling us that, hey, you know what? A lot of the things we wrestle with, they're in this unseen realm, right? The spiritual realm. And we're also told in the Bible that the devil goes around like a roaring lion looking to seek, kill, and destroy. So instead of getting caught up in these political back and forths on social media and having a lot of political divide, this is the time to come together. And the good news is that we are seeing such a positive outpouring and outcome of what's been coming out of this horrific tragedy. So many people now are giving their lives to Jesus, people that are atheists going to church for the first time, or maybe some who are on the fence or maybe stopped going for a while. And I truly believe that things are only getting started, because number two, the other truth I took away from all of this is that people are starting to become more courageous about their faith. I'm one of them because I was on the fence making this YouTube channel, and I feel like the Charlie Kirk death was a catalyst that, for me personally, gave me that oomph to kind of just take the step and to boldly put my faith out there on YouTube, right? And Joshua even tells us to be bold and to be courageous because the Lord's going to be with us wherever we go. So I'm seeing this around me too. I feel like there's a big revival coming around and we're only getting started. And I wouldn't be surprised if for decades to come, with the new generations coming our way, that we're going to see more of a firm, bold stance for people proclaiming Jesus and bringing others to Christ. And so another truth that I see as an outcome of all of this is that when we have tragedy, it's so easy to cower in fear, to fight with one another. But it's also something that we have to remember is nothing new in history. Remember that in the Bible, Cain did nothing wrong, or sorry, I should say his brother Abel did nothing wrong. Cain killed his brother. The stoning of Stephen, he was a martyr for the faith. Paul was killed. John the Baptist was beheaded. And then in modern days, we've had people like MLK who were assassinated. And so the sad truth is that, yes, time and time again in history, we've seen proponents of the faith sadly have their lives taken away. But God also used that to propel magnitudes more of people turning their life over to Jesus. Because the beauty and the glory of Jesus is just that when one thing is basically a small little victory that the devil thinks he's won, God already won the war. And he has a plan in all of this. And Jeremiah 29:11 tells us this, right? That he knows the plans for our future. And he is here as our advocate to bring everything together in his glory and for the greater good. And another truth that I see as an outcome of this is that people are starting to realize too that the end times, they can't be far away. Now, nobody knows the day or the hour, right? But I feel like more and more, I would not be surprised, and maybe you feel the same, you tell me in the comments, if suddenly, maybe even our lifetime, we don't know, Jesus just decides to show up, right? And maybe with what's happening politically in the world and with these really awful killings, there's this urgency that's bringing people to the faith that, hey, you know, tomorrow isn't promised. The fact that we woke up today with breath in our lungs is a gift. Not everybody gets that. Charlie and his family, they were impacted, and millions have been impacted for, God's sake as well. And so we have to just not take that for granted, but also realize that as long as we are on this earth, God can use our lives and our stories for his good. And so I hope this video was a blessing to you. You tell me in the comments below what kind of content you would also like to see from me. This is a new channel, and so I'm doing a mix right now of current events and tying them back to biblical meanings, but then also other videos that are more just life encouragement type videos. And so I'm open to your ideas, and take care. God bless.